Hi everyone, this is Kevin again, and tomorrow is going to be kind of a rare type of meeting they're going to have in the United Nations, and they're still pretty upset over the fact that President Trump declared Jerusalem as the capital of Israel. So the 193-member United Nations General Assembly will hold a rare emergency special session on Thursday at the request of Arab and Muslim states on U.S. President Donald Trump's decision to recognize Jerusalem as Israel's capital, sparking a warning from Washington that it will take names. Palestinian UN envoy Riyad Mansour said the General Assembly would vote on a draft resolution calling for Trump's declaration to be withdrawn, which was vetoed by the United States in the 15-member UN Security Council on Monday. The remaining 14 Security Council members voted in favor of the Egyptian drafted resolution, which did not specifically mention the United States or Trump, but which expressed deep regret at recent decisions concerning the status of Jerusalem. Mansour said on Monday he hoped there would be overwhelming support in the General Assembly for the resolution. Such a vote is non-binding but carries political weight. U.S. Ambassador Nikki Haley, in a letter to dozens of UN states on Tuesday, seen by Reuters, warned that the United States would remember those who voted for the resolution criticizing the U.S. decision. The president will be watching this vote carefully and has requested a report back on those countries who voted against us. We will take note of each and every vote on this issue, Haley wrote. She echoed that call in a Twitter post. The U.S. will be taking names. Under a 1950 resolution, an emergency special session can be called for the UN for the General Assembly to consider a matter with a view to make appropriate recommendations to members for collective measures if the Security Council fails to act. Only 10 such sessions have been convened, and the last time the General Assembly met in such a session was in 2009 on occupied East Jerusalem and Palestinian territories. Thursday's meeting will be a resumption of that session. Trump abruptly reversed decades of U.S. policy this month when he recognized Jerusalem as Israel's capital, generating outrage from Palestinians and the Arab world and concern among Washington's Western allies. Trump also plans to move the U.S. Embassy to Jerusalem from Tel Aviv. The draft UN's resolution calls on all countries to refrain from establishing diplomatic missions in Jerusalem. Haley said on Monday that the resolution was vetoed in the Security Council in defense of U.S. sovereignty and the U.S. role in the Middle East peace process. She criticized it as an insult to Washington and an embarrassment to council members. Israel considers Jerusalem its eternal and indivisible capital and wants all embassies based there. Palestinians want the capital of an independent Palestinian state to be in the city's eastern sector, which Israel captured in the 1967 war and annexed in a move never recognized internationally. Okay, so basically, here's what I see happening. Zechariah 12, verse 2 and 3. Behold, I will make Jerusalem a cup of trembling unto all the people round about, when they shall be in the siege both against Judah and against Jerusalem. And in that day will I make Jerusalem a burdensome stone for all people. All that burden themselves with it shall be cut in pieces, though all the people of the earth be gathered together against it. At least I see that this could be fulfilled completely in the near future. Okay? But you got to wonder, why is it that the world is so concerned about this little tiny city of Jerusalem? Of all of the cities around the world, why are they so concerned about trying to make Jerusalem into an international city rather than allowing Israel to say this is our capital, which it always has been? Really, in all honesty, throughout history, Israel's capital was Jerusalem. That was the main city. God put his name on that city of Jerusalem. So anyway, we'll just have to watch and see what goes on here with this situation. But basically kind of shows us, what's going on right now in light of what the Bible has to say about Jerusalem. And, the fact that, the Jews did come back into their land, starting with the 1917 Balfour Agreement. Before that, that whole area of land was just a barren desert. Pastor J.D. Farag had a really good message this past Sunday concerning the issue of the Palestinians, and basically said, he was made to believe when he was young that he was a Palestinian. And he said, I come to realize that there is no such thing as a Palestinian. It all started, because of the Roman Empire, when they came down and they destroyed the temple and in AD 70, and after that later on after that, when they defeated Bar Kokhba, the Bar Kokhba revolt, I think that was Emperor Hadrian, he ended up naming that area of land Palestina, which, we call it Palestina, but he called it Palestina Capitalita, or Capitolina, or something like that. Anyway, that's where the name came from, and it was based upon the traditional enemies of the past of Israel, which was the Philistines. I think you probably heard this before, but so basically, when you say Palestinian, you're saying a Philistine. And there's never been a Palestinian nation or a Palestinian state ever, and there's never been a Palestinian people. There were the Philistines from way back, the enemies of Israel. But basically, in the history of this area, this land, there's not been a Palestinian people. Back when Mark Twain was alive in the 1800s, he came there and visited, and he described the place as being a barren wasteland, basically just a desert, and nothing, and there was nobody there, really. So where were all these people that were supposed to have been there that were Palestinians, right? Now, the fact of the matter is, people didn't start going in there and calling themselves Palestinians until after the Jews started moving back to their land in 1917 and from the Balfour Agreement. And they're just simply Arabs. They're not Palestinians. They're Arabs. So anyway, we'll watch the situation, see what happens. With that, I'm going to say God bless you, and I'm going to say bye for now, and just keep watching the situation that's going on with Jerusalem.